Welcome. This is the first of a series of videos called Spiritual Incursions into the Classics. So these will be little puncturing ourselves or putting ourselves into larger works, just taking a look at little aspects of it, of these works, and this will give us an introduction to the to what the author's larger message might be, without trying to master the entire work. We're trying to just jump in and see what we can find in one chapter, and from there branch out. I'll do additional videos on each of these classics as we go on. And so today I'm starting with Walt Whitman, American poet, perhaps the greatest American poet, and he lived in the 19th century. And what we're looking for here is not the poetic aspects that we might look at in English class or something like that. We're looking at what can we learn here from Whitman for our own spiritual practice and for our daily life. And I hope to show in this short video there's a lot here, and believe it or not, the poem I'm going to look at briefly today actually talks about our deepest need and how we can find the ultimate fulfillment in life. So, I mean, I know that sounds like a big promise, but that's what Whitman is offering in this poem, which I'm going to look at, is called A Song for Occupations. And so Leaves of Grass, Whitman's it's his anthology of all the poems that he would write. He put out new editions of it over the decades, and these were all the poems that he wanted people to know and be of his work. So he kept changing the earlier poems and so forth. Leaves of Grass is itself, just that title is all you really need to know about Whitman ultimately, because consider grass. We as a matter of fact, we don't consider grass much. It's just we step on it. We don't. It's low. Each leaf of grass means very little to us, and each leaf of grass is only one of millions that make up a field of grass. So all the leaves of grass together make up a beautiful green field. This is how Whitman is seeing it. So we are ourselves, each of us, a leaf of grass, or what we might say now, a blade of grass. We are each a leaf of grass in America, and that's what Whitman's trying to do, is to be the great American poet, to express America. Okay, so that's really all you need to know, that you, as an American, are one of the leaves of grass making up America, and without you, America would not be America. Every leaf is needed in order to make a field. Just no one leaf. If we just had one little blade of grass growing in a field and everything was barren otherwise, you would have a lunar landscape or something. To make it beautiful, you need all of us together. So that's the context here, and I've already taken up half of my time here just explaining the title, so I'm not even going to get through the whole Song of Occupations, I think, in this video, but let's get started. A Song for Occupations. To the labor of engines and trades and the labor of fields, I find the developments and find the eternal meanings. So he is looking at our daily work, everyone's work in America, and he is looking for the eternal meanings. And this is what I said at the beginning. He is claiming to find the eternal meaning of your and my life in our work. So no matter what that work is. So and he goes on to say, workmen and workwomen, exclamation point, workmen and workwomen. He's calling to all of us. And remember, for him, for Whitman, leaves of grass means all the leaves of grass in our country. So men and women equal for Whitman. There's no higher or lower in the genders for him. He is including every American in his. That's what America is. For e pluribus unum. And he goes on to say, he asks, "What have you thought of yourself? Have you considered yourself less?" So I'm just looking at part 1 right now. Have you considered yourself less? Then, and he said, he brings up, for example, the president. Is it you that thought the president greater than you, the president? No. For Whitman, no. The president is not greater than you. Or the rich better off than you, or the educated wiser than you, because you are greasy or pimpled, or were once drunk or a thief, or that you are diseased or a prostitute. Do you give in that you are any less immortal? So here's the thing. I'm getting back to this leaves of grass thing. Whatever it is, every American is immortal, has an immortal soul. This harks back to the teaching. I mean, I'm just saying, putting him in a spiritual context. This gets back to the teaching of Jesus himself, who encountered every human being as valuable. And Jesus also speaks about plants like look at the lilies of the field. So there's a lot of that here in Whitman too. He's harking back to ancient tradition, and yet he's bringing it into the American mode. And so in part 2 here of this poem, souls of men and women, it is not you I call unseen, unheard. I own publicly who you are, if no one else owns. And in this part 2, he just goes through all different types of people, and he just says, you all are part of it. You all are part of America. You are all part of the universe, the cosmos. There is no one to whom you are not equal. You are equal to every other being. We're all equal because we have eternal soul. And then in part 3 he moves on, and I'm trying to get through. I've only got 2 minutes here. So the sun and the stars that float in the open air, the apple-shaped earth, and we upon it, surely the drift of them is something grand. I do not know what it is, except that it is grand and that it is happiness. So the cosmos itself is, all the aspects of the cosmos are part of it. The smallest ant, the rock, the tree, we are all part of it. We are all eternal. We are all connected. So I'm running out of time. I'm going to just put a quick plug in for Cosmic Consciousness by Richard Maurice Buck. It came out around 1900, and there's an chapter about Whitman there, and I will be doing an incursion into that one as well, and I will be doing more incursions into Whitman and other texts too. But to wrap it up today, the ultimate point here is, and in the end he sort of says, are you going to look afar off? Will you seek afar off? And then he just goes into the last part of this poem. You don't need to seek far off. You have it inside. What you're seeking is with you. It's like Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz. All she had to do was tap her feet and she would be home. And this is the American aspect. This is the American aspect of Whitman. So with that, I'll close this video, and I hope you found it inspiring or enlightening in some way. I hope I have encouraged. I hope I've interested you in looking more into Whitman, and ultimately he's trying to help us see what America is, how we can achieve our country, as Richard Rorty once put it. So with that, many blessings, and I will close.